Hey everyone, before we dive into this story, please hit that subscribe button to join my channel and stay updated with more exciting content. In the grand entrance of Ashford Estate, towering Christmas trees glittered with light. A 20-foot Norwegian spruce, adorned with shimmering crystal ornaments, stood proudly. The marble corridors buzzed with 60 guests, champagne glasses clinking as they marveled at the Victorian mansion, a timeless beauty since 1952. My mother, draped in red silk, posed gracefully on the sweeping staircase, exuding an air of ownership. She didn't own it. "May I have your attention, please?" she announced, gently tapping her glass. The chatter hushed. My older sister, Sarah, stood prominently at the center, her fiancé, Brandon, by her side, both radiant with excitement. "Tonight, I'm thrilled to share a special Christmas surprise," Mom declared, her voice echoing through the hall. "Sarah and Brandon will tie the knot in June, and we're gifting them the entire east wing of Ashford Estate." The room erupted in applause. Sarah squealed with delight. I lingered near the library doorway, eggnog in hand, observing the scene with quiet detachment. 5 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, a private kitchen, and a separate entrance, Mom continued. "We've already brought in designers to make it their own sanctuary within the family estate." More cheers followed. Sarah flaunted her new domain to friends as if she'd been anointed queen. "And when Michael marries, he'll get the West Wing," Mom added, nodding toward my younger brother, who grinned and raised his fist from across the room. I sipped my eggnog and glanced at my phone, opening an email from Fletcher and Morrison, estate attorneys, sent 3 days prior. Subject: Ashford Estate Trust Fund activation. The attached files confirmed what I'd known for 4 years. I was the sole owner of this estate, a fact established when I turned 25. Discreetly, I texted my attorney. They just gave away the East Wing. Proceed with the plan. Security ready. Midnight. Let them enjoy Christmas Eve. My family was unaware that our grandfathers had placed Ashford Estate in a trust to be activated when the youngest grandchild reached 25. An independent board evaluated us based on financial responsibility, education, and maturity, and they chose me 4 years ago. Not Sarah, burdened with $90,000 in credit card debt and 2 incomplete college stints. Not Michael, dismissed from 3 jobs and currently exploring Europe on Mom's funds. Me, the reserved middle child with a finance degree, a steady career, and no reliance on family wealth. For 4 years, I'd been the legal owner, quietly paying $16,700 in annual property taxes, covering maintenance, insurance, utilities, and staff wages, a total investment of $1.2 million. They had no clue. I'd kept it secret to see if they'd involve me in decisions, if they'd value my place in the family. Instead, they carved up my home without a word. Dinner featured roasted duck and truffle-infused potatoes. Seated between Aunt Caroline and Cousin James, I listened as Sarah outlined her renovation plans. "Marble countertops for the kitchen," she declared. "And that old fireplace? It's so outdated, we're tearing it out." That fireplace, installed by my grandfather, was worth $45,000. "What about the library?" Brandon asked. "Home gym," Sarah replied. The library housed first edition books valued at over $200,000, Grandpa's prized collection. "Absolutely," Mom chimed in. "Grandpa would want you to make it yours." Grandpa would have been appalled. "What about you, Claire?" Aunt Caroline asked. "Still in that downtown apartment?" "For now," I replied. "When you marry, you should take the servants' quarters," Michael suggested. "They're decent enough." The servants' quarters, Grandpa's former office, where he taught me about investments and estate management. "I'll consider it," I said calmly. Mom raised her glass. "To family, to tradition, to the next generation shaping this home." I lifted my glass but didn't drink, watching them toast to giving away rooms in a house I'd funded for 4 years. At 11 p.m., I slipped into the library and called Fletcher and Morrison. They've divided the estate, planning to dismantle the library and remove Grandpa's fireplace without my consent as the owner. "It's time." "Are you certain?" "It's Christmas Eve," they replied. "They're set on destroying Grandpa's library." "I'm certain." "Security at midnight. Your mother and siblings will be informed of their options. Stay as tenants at $8,000 a month or leave within 60 days. Hanging up, I stood among Grandpa's books, first editions by Hemingway, Fitzgerald, Steinbeck, and the desk where he explained compound interest. He knew I'd be the one to understand. That's why he entrusted it to me. At 11:45, I rejoined my family in the sitting room, still buzzing about renovations. "There's Claire," Mom called. "We're turning the sunroom into a yoga studio. Thoughts?" "I think we need to have a serious talk," I said, my tone halting their chatter. When Grandpa died, he placed the estate in a trust to activate when the youngest grandchild turned 25. An independent board chose one beneficiary based on financial stability and maturity. They picked me. I've owned this estate for 4 years. A champagne glass slipped from Mom's hand, shattering on the floor. "That's impossible," Sarah whispered. I displayed my phone, showing the trust documents, the deed in my name, and 4 years of tax payments. I've paid $67,000 a year in taxes and $1.2 million in expenses. This is my house. Michael snatched my phone, scrolling desperately. "This can't be real. It's public record. Check with the county clerk." Mom's voice trembled. "You've owned this for 4 years and said nothing? I wanted to see if you'd include me, if you'd consult me. Instead, you gave Sarah the East Wing, Michael the West Wing, and offered me the servants' quarters. But this is the family estate." Sarah cried. "It was. Now it's mine, and you tried to give away my library without asking." At midnight, the doorbell rang. I opened it to Fletcher Morrison, Patricia Chin from the Trust Board, and David Rodriguez, head of estate security. "Good evening, Miss Ashford," Fletcher said formally. "We're here to execute the ownership transition." My family's faces turned from shock to dread. Fletcher handed Mom a folder. "These confirm Claire's ownership and outline terms: $8,000 monthly rent, or vacate in 60 days. Rent? In our own home." Mom's voice was faint. "It's not your home," Patricia said firmly. "It's Claire's. It has been for 4 years. You've lived here as guests while she invested over $1 million. Sarah clutched the papers. "We have to pay rent." "It's Claire's house," Patricia reiterated. "Grandpa designed the trust this way." The board evaluated credit, employment, education, and savings. They chose Claire. "Because you're so perfect," Sarah snapped. "Because I'm financially stable. Because I don't have $90,000 in debt or a history of job losses. Because I value preserving Grandpa's legacy over turning it into a gym." David stepped forward. "As of midnight, estate security answers to Ms. Ashford. All exterior doors are rekeyed. New code set. Only Miss Ashford has access." "You changed the locks?" Mom looked faint. "Standard procedure," David replied. Sarah glared at me. "I hate you. You're stealing our home." "I own it. You tried to give away my rooms without asking." Mom sank into a chair. "What do you want?" "I want you to see me as the one who preserved this estate for 4 years while you assumed it was yours. You tried to dismantle my library, remove Grandpa's fireplace, and offered me servants' quarters. You overlooked me completely." Fletcher checked his watch. "Miss Ashford has arranged hotel rooms, paid through the week, for anyone needing time to decide." "You're evicting us on Christmas?" Michael's voice broke. "I'm giving you time to think. Stay tonight in guest rooms, decide tomorrow. But this is my house, and we're done pretending." One by one, they left. Sarah stormed out silently. Michael grabbed his coat. Aunt Caroline slipped away quietly. Mom lingered. "I raised you, gave you everything. This is how you repay me. You gave me everything but acknowledgement. Grandpa gave me that in this house. He made a mistake. No, he knew you'd take it for granted. He knew Sarah and Michael weren't ready. He chose the one who'd protect it." She walked out without another word. After the attorneys departed, I wandered the estate alone, ending up in Grandpa's old office, the servants' quarters. In his desk, I found an envelope with my name, unopened for years. Tonight felt right. "Claire, if you're reading this, you've been chosen as the estate's owner. I'm proud of you. The board picked you because you understand. Wealth is about responsibility, not possession. Your siblings see this house as a trophy. You see it as a legacy to safeguard. They won't understand. They'll call you selfish. They'll say I erred. I didn't. This house needs someone who will care for it properly, who understands being in Ashford means preserving our foundation. Stand firm. Do what's right. Love, Grandpa. I read it 3 times, tears falling. He'd foreseen this night. 3 days later, Mom signed the lease, our warmth replaced by cold formality. Sarah moved out within 2 weeks, sending a bill for emotional damages, which my attorney returned. Michael took a third-floor guest suite, paid rent, and avoided me. The estate grew quiet, no more parties, just me and a home officially mine. My cousin James texted, "Grandpa always knew it was yours. Said you were the only one who listened. Proud of you." It wasn't universal forgiveness, but it was something. The East Wing remained untouched. The library stayed pristine. Grandpa's fireplace continued to warm a home finally in the right hands. 2 months after Christmas, I stood in Grandpa's office, reviewing renovation bids, not Sarah's marble counters or gyms, but essential upgrades, new plumbing in the West Wing, roof repairs, HVAC for the servants' quarters. My phone rang. Claire Ashford speaking. "This is Jennifer Walsh from Architectural Digest. We're featuring historic estate preservation, and your name came up. Interested in an interview." I paused. "How'd you get my name?" "Patricia Chin from your grandfather's trust board. She said you're doing incredible work preserving a 1952 Victorian estate." "I'll consider it. Anything else?" "We heard there was family drama over the inheritance. Readers love that human angle." I hung up, but the call sparked a thought. The estate had been a family secret for so long. Maybe it was time to share its story. A week later, Mom called, the first direct contact since Christmas. "Reporters are calling about the estate. Grandpa's will. You. Architectural Digest wants a feature. You can't do it. It'll embarrass the family." The family embarrassed itself by trying to give away my house. Silence. Sarah's struggling. The wedding's off. She can't afford her rental and wants to return as a tenant. She can't pay $8,000 a month, Claire. Then she needs something affordable. There are $1,200 apartments downtown. Those are tiny in rough areas. That's what people live in when they can't afford mansions. I did for 3 years while saving. She's your sister. My sister who called me boring, who wanted to gut Grandpa's library, who hasn't spoken to me in 2 months except to bill me for emotional damages. Mom's voice cracked. "Please, she's family. Family asks before taking. Family contributes, doesn't consume. Family doesn't offer you servants' quarters in your own home." I hung up. The Architectural Digest interview took place in March. Photographer and journalist Rebecca Kim spent 3 hours touring the estate. "Your grandfather built this in 1952, she said, snapping photos of the fireplace. "Your sister wanted to remove it? She thought it looked old." Rebecca shook her head. "It's stunning. True craftsmanship." In the library, I showed her Grandpa's books, maps, and the desk where he taught me about finance. "He didn't see this house as a prize," I said. "He saw it as a duty. My family saw rooms to claim. I saw a legacy to protect." Rebecca's article, published in June, was breathtaking. Photos showcased the grand hall, library, and woodwork. Her words went viral. While her siblings planned to erase history, 29-year-old Claire Ashford quietly invested over $1.2 million to preserve her grandfather's dream. When her family tried to divide the estate, she revealed the truth. She'd owned it all along. Comments flooded with stories of family greed. The story spread. Interviews, podcasts, a book offer. Sarah texted, "You made us look like monsters. Hope you're happy." I didn't respond, but I wasn't unhappy. In July, James called. "I'm marrying in September. I want you there." "Sarah will be there." "I know, but you should come. You preserved Grandpa's legacy." I attended, stayed quiet, sat in the back. At the reception, Michael approached. "Nice article," he said calmly. "Thanks. I got a job, assistant manager. Paying Mom's rent, my share. It's most of my paycheck, but it's fair." "You're paying rent?" "She can't afford it alone, and I lived there free too long." He paused. "I was awful at Christmas, and before." "It's okay," I said softly. "Guest suite's open if you want it. Lease and all." "I'll think about it," he said, walking away. It wasn't much, but it was something. 2 months later, Sarah called. I'm back with Brandon. In therapy, looking for a small house. That's good. Your article was tough to read. Seeing what you did while I planned to gut the library. How much you gave while I was in debt. I treated you terribly. You were steady, and I made that seem small. What changed? Therapy. Losing everything. Facing who I was. I tried to take your house. Thought I deserved it. I didn't. I see. I can't afford much, but I'm working on it. I just wanted you to know I understand now. Grandpa's books, you're keeping them safe. She hung up. It wasn't forgiveness, but maybe understanding. A year later, I hosted Thanksgiving. A small group, James and his wife, Michael, now a reliable tenant, Aunt Caroline, and Mom, who brought a homemade pie. Sarah didn't come but sent a card. Thank you for preserving what Grandpa built. He'd be proud. We dined in the room where everything once unraveled, now calm. James toasted, to Claire, for standing up for what's right. I didn't lose everything, I said. Just those who valued me only when I was useful. I kept the ones who matter. Michael smiled. Working and paying rent feels good. Thanks for not letting me stay lazy. We laughed, the air lighter. After dinner, I walked the quiet estate. The library was safe, the fireplace warm, Grandpa's map untouched. The house finally felt like home. My phone buzzed. An email from the book agent. 6-figure offer for your memoir. Interested? I looked at Grandpa's desk, my desk now, and smiled. I typed back, very interested. Let's talk. Grandpa built the estate. I saved it.